So how many people are staying in this room?
About 50 folks at least, yeah.
So you're out of room?
Yeah, if you were to come to Juarez a year ago, you would have maybe 50 migrants in one migrant shelter. Right now, there are 3,000 to 4,000. People are on the asylum list. They're going to be waiting at least 3 or 4 months before they even get that first initial interview with a CBP officer at the bridge. If they're an MPP, they've been basically sentenced to be here in Juarez a year, maybe more.
So for these families, what do they do for a year?
You know, when you're here in Ciudad Juarez, if you've been subject to MPP or remain in Mexico, you have no access to work, you have no access to education, you have very little access to medical services if children are sick. You don't have the opportunity to find a lawyer necessarily. Almost nobody has a lawyer to negotiate the very complex system of asylum in the United States. And so these folks are completely dependent on charity, on the goodwill of folks here in Juarez. Juarez simply doesn't have the infrastructure to care for 8,000, 9,000 migrants who have been returned. And so a lot of them are going to fall off the page. They're going to be on the margins. They're not going to be, these are the lucky ones. These are the folks who have found safety, who have found refuge. There are thousands of people.
What is the unlucky people, what does that look like?
They'll either be forced to go back to their home countries, where they'll go back to very vulnerable, desperate conditions, or they'll get funneled into organized crime. We've seen situations of rape. We've seen situations of kidnapping here. This shelter, for example, has been broken into and folks have been attacked. There have even been homicides of Honduran migrants here in Ciudad Juarez. And so what Remain in Mexico is effectively doing is creating a vulnerable population, a pool of migrants who can be victims of organized crime, who can, are subject to conditions where in a city where crime is on the rise, homicides are on the rise, and every day is a precarious existence.
If we take the Trump administration as the start of the change in immigration policies in the U.S., and you take MPP as the marker, how much worse has it gotten for people since MPP?
A lot. So what we've effectively done is doubled down on one policy, which is deterrence. And it has two faces. One, we're criminalizing migrants. So what before was legal asylum, the ability to come to the United States, make your case in front of a judge, the Trump administration is criminalizing asylum seekers and making it more and more difficult for them to do that. And that's legal. To do that is legal. And that's what we have here in Juarez right now.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.